You're asked to sketch the graph of the function. Now, there's a couple of steps when we're dealing with standard form here. The first is to find the axis of symmetry, right? The middle of our parabola by using a piece of the quadratic formula. So I know that the b value is 2, so I'm going to have negative b over 2 times a, which gives me negative 2 over negative 2, which is just going to be 1. So that's our axis of symmetry. So what that means is that when x equals 1, this is going to be the middle of our parabola. Now we can find our vertex by plugging in this x value. So if we look at a little chart here, we plug in 1 into our equation, right? So we have negative 1 squared plus 2 times 1 plus 1. So 1 squared is 1. We have negative 1 plus 2 times 1, which is 2, plus 1, and that's just giving us a positive 2. So our y value is going to be 2, so that is our vertex. So that's our vertex. We can look at this first term here, negative x squared, because that's negative, actually tells us it's going to be an upside down parabola because of that negative value. Now, another thing that we can look at to help us out if we want to, is kind of optional here, but it helps us determine if it's a U or an upside down U for the parabola shape. But if we plug in our y-intercept from here, it's just going to be the c value, right? Because when x is 0, this becomes 0, this becomes 0, and then we have just 1. So that's our y-intercept there. So we go ahead and erase this stuff to clear us out a little bit here, but I'll re-put on the points. So axis of symmetry at 1, our vertex at 1, 2, and our y-intercept at 1. So if we weren't looking at the y-intercept, instead, if we kind of skip to this step here where we're taking steps to find 4 points, we can actually just look at this first term here. And when I mean steps, I mean like we're moving 1 step to the right here. So we're going from x equals 1 to x equals 2 and figuring out what the y value would be. We can just look at this actually to help us. And so what we can do is we'll just plug into the x value how many steps we want to move over. So if we're moving over 1, then we plug that in, we end up getting negative 1. So if we move 1 step to the right, we're going to go down 1 because that's what we got here. If we want to go 2 steps to the right, we're plugging that in, we get negative 4. So if I'm going from the vertex, I'm going 2 steps over. Now I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 down because that's what we got here. And again, with the axis of symmetry, it's going to be flipped here. So this point is going to be 2 units from the axis of symmetry. So we have our 4 points that give us our parabolic shape here. And we're all finished.